This week at the studio, Emmett Graham came in for some feedback on layouts from Steve Lieber. Emmett works on a webcomic called Captain Tempest, which is a pulp webcomic that follows a trio of globetrotting adventurers in the 1930s. Once Emmett got some good suggestions from Steve, he got back to work on those layouts.
I don't know if it's that. I say no, because I have the gene and I simply don't interpret it that way.
Caitlin, you have a book coming out soon. What's it called?
It's called The 100th Voice.
And it's published by who?
Dark Horse. The 100th Voice is a story about a boy named Uriel Driscoll who wants to sing more than anything in his life, but he's haunted by a family curse that causes everyone in his family to lose their singing voice whenever they reach a certain point in their stardom. But he is invited to his grandfather's elusive magical academy called Aisling Academy, where he's going to learn how to sing. And he runs into there's an entity haunting the school who offers him a chance to learn how to sing and be great. He's going to try and outwit the curse that's following his family.
So this is for an unannounced project that I won't be finished until the end of next year.
Thanks, Ron.
Oh, I have the fingernails to get this out. Yeah, give it a shot. Because,
Good lord.
yeah, it's in there. Okay. Because it makes the worst noise.
Mm-hmm.
It is just the fucking worst. There's a slow leak somewhere, though, because it's all in here.
Yeah.
Or not correct.
Can you tell me about your project?
Yeah, so it's called The Great Train Haunting, and it is written by my friend Mike Russell, who is best known for the Sabretooth Vampire comic strip series, and myself. I'm drawing it and also kind of co-creating it. It is kind of like the Great Train Robbery meets Spirited Away, so it's like a fun, supernatural western that has a lot of comedy in it, and oh yeah, all the characters are chibi, so it is extra ridiculous. We're just really excited to be doing it on our own through my Patreon.
Steve, speaking of reference, so you're doing layouts right now, but later are you going to take reference?
I'm definitely going to shoot photos for this. I've cast some people I know for who these characters will be, and they don't look like the people that I'm drawing in the comic, but I think they'll fill the space right. They'll do the right sort of acting for them. I always find it really, really helpful to shoot photo reference. Here I'm doing this is a conversation scene, and I've got rough gestures in mind, but when I talk to a human being and say, okay, put your hands in your back pocket, and I want you to look thoughtfully at a person, they're going to come up with something I would not have come up with on my own that'll give me a richer picture, a more interesting bit of visual storytelling. I always tell young artists, there's a ton of information in any reference photo. Some of that information will make your picture better, the rest of it will make your picture worse. You want to get all the good stuff and discard all the bad stuff.
Yeah, role play it.
Oh god.
We're working on how to get the pitch for a book together. You have to practice these things. They don't come naturally. Caitlin.
Yes, Stefan?
Yes. Tell me about 100th of a Voice.
Voice is a story about Uriel Driscoll, who is a young boy who wants to sing more than anything. That anyone in his family who could sing loses their singing voice whenever they get super popular. And the 100th Voice is a story about a haunted music school.
Store, the Wacom Store, the Wacom Store. Going to the Wacom Store to look at products. That's right, everyone! Wacom is actually sponsoring today's video. Helioscope studio mates have been using Wacom products for years, and we're so psyched to promote them this week. We're so lucky that Portland, Oregon has the only experience center in the United States where anyone can test out their products before committing to them. If you live in the area, it's a great place to see what's available and works best for your creative needs.
I like this size too. It still has a lot of screen to draw on, but it doesn't feel so overwhelming.
I like that it's wider too. Like I think my iPad like cuts off here. It's really nice to have that extra screen space.
Yeah.
Pencil is pretty wild.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, look, it looks like a pencil.
Whoa, it does look
But
like
it
a
has
pencil.
a rubber tip.
We chose to get the Wacom Mobile Studio Pro 16 and a 34-inch Cintiq. The Mobile Studio will work great for our needs. The mobility of this tablet allows us to work from anywhere in or outside of the studio. The Mobile Studio is an all-in-one tablet, so it's like a laptop, but with a screen you can draw on. The texture of the screen is great. It isn't super slick, so it tends to feel more pleasant than a phone or iPad screen. The stylus's grip is thick, so it's easier on the hand and wrist for repetitive use, and the sensitivity is superb. The 34-inch Cintiq is a beast. This allows anyone to plug their own computer into the screen and use their preferred art program to draw on. Here's Colleen trying it out using her laptop. Wacom, thank you so much for giving us some amazing products to help update our shared technology here at Helioscope. Let's go back to the Wacom Experience Center for a second. The Experience Center has weekly events at their space, so make sure to visit their website or social media to check out what's scheduled. For example, the day we visited, Eric Donovan stayed behind to attend their drink and draw. Also that day, we ran into Garrett Lay and Terry Blas. At the time of filming, Garrett was hosting an upcoming dance and draw event. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish this video in time to promote it, but feel free to follow Garrett for any future events because it sounded like a lot of fun. It was also great to see Terry Blas, who rarely makes it into the studio these days. I made sure to ask what he's been up to. Hi Terry, good to see you. We're gonna do this again because I wasn't recording the first time. What have you been working on lately?
Lately I've been working on a lot of comics. I have a story out in a new anthology called Young Men in Love, which is a great romance anthology with a bunch of artists and writers in it. My story is with Bradley Clayton. It's called Living, but it's about a ghost. And early next year I have a book called Who Was Her Own Work of Art, Frida Kahlo from Penguin Random House coming out. And yeah, I hope you check it out.
John, what are you working on today?
Well, I'm working on page 12 of my Feral Star story. This is going to be the last page in a preview book I hope to have ready for Rose City Comic Con. So get this finished up and print out some copies and have some ready for the con.
Audra, what are you working on today?
I'm working on scripting a comic, a section of a comic about psychedelic mushrooms and the science of them.
Cool, it's an educational comic?
Yeah, it's a collaboration with a neuroscientist at the University of Oregon, and he's bringing in the science, I'm bringing in the comics. It's going pretty well.
Steven, you just got back from SPX, right?
I sure did. It was really, really fun. Saw a lot of friends that I haven't seen in a while. If anyone who's watching this came to Helioscope by way of more mainstream comics, SPX is the Small Press Expo. It's a place for micro press, comics as art objects, more classically independent media within the medium of comics than necessarily what you might have. Some of you might very well know what it is. It's in Bethesda, Maryland. It's been there for 25-ish years probably, and it's, for my money, the best independent comics show in the US.
What are you working on today?
Well, I love wasting time, so I like thumbnailing for my thumbnails. This in here is all script for the upcoming 4th Upstate book, which is going to be called Never Go Back, a shorter story. So I'm thumbnailing here to have some final thumbnails. These, because I do micro press and I'm not dealing with editorial in a more corporatized sense or advertisement, I get complete control over things like page turns, where things are going to be narratively, the things that you're hiding behind what page is being turned by the reader. So I tend to work in this small, about playing card sized format for my thumbnails, so that I can see where everything is going to be on the page and within the greater gestalt of the book as a whole.
Hi, I'm Steve, and I was going through some books on my shelves, and I realized that I had a copy of Love and Rockets #1 just sitting there on my bookshelf. I completely forgot that I had it. 40-year-old comic. This is amazing. This is the stuff.
First edition? And
First
everything?
edition, yeah, just sitting there. It's not in particularly collectible condition because I read the hell out of this comic. But yeah, I completely forgot it was there. Look at all this awesomeness. Oh my god.